Build the wall. It was Donald Trump's signature campaign pledge. Is the border wall a reasonable and effective policy, or an outdated, useless strategy? Let's look at just facts. The border between the United States and Mexico stretches for 1,960 miles, parting two major regions of the world with vastly different governments, standards of living, and levels of crime. Consequently, 1 million people per year legally immigrate to the United States, and many millions of people have risked their lives to illegally cross its border. During 2013 to 2015 alone, the U.S. Border Patrol recorded an average of 700,000 illegal entries per year along the U.S.-Mexico border. Also, each year 100 million visit the U.S. legally, and more than 300,000 of them illegally overstay their visits, often never leaving. People who enter the U.S. illegally avoid criminal background checks, and as a result, they have much higher serious crime rates than legal immigrants and the general U.S. population. Highlighting the impact of this, a U.S. Government Accountability Office study of 249,000 non-citizens in U.S. prisons and jails during 2003 to 2009 found that they had been arrested for 2.9 million offenses committed within the U.S., including 69,929 sex offenses and 25,064 homicides. Like most government data, this study did not isolate legal non-citizens from illegal ones, but given that legal immigrants have to undergo background checks, the vast bulk of these criminals were probably in the U.S. illegally. Also, Mexico is the primary source of heroin in the United States, where at least 12,989 people died of heroin overdoses in 2015. The actual figure may be significantly higher because the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention notes that fatal heroin overdoses are undercounted by as much as 30% due to inconsistent reporting and difficulties in determining the presence of heroin in the bodies of the deceased. To solve these problems, President Trump has proposed securing the southern border with a traditional boundary defense, a wall. When asked if this plan is realistic, Trump noted during his campaign, "They built the Great Wall of China. That's 13,000 miles. Here, we actually only need 1,000 because we have natural barriers." Trump's wall proposal has drawn a lot of fire from some prominent politicians who lambasted it as immoral, ineffective, expensive, and a medieval solution for a modern problem. Let's look at this factually. Far from being relics of a distant age, a wide variety of nations have built, fortified, or expanded border barriers since 2010. This includes Austria, Kenya, Jordan, Spain, Greece, Norway, Slovenia, Macedonia, Gibraltar, Myanmar, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Oman, Algeria, Ukraine, Tunisia, Hungary, and Morocco. Contrary to arguments that border barriers are ineffective if people climb over them, tunnel beneath them, or go around them, the purpose of such barriers is not to stop all illegal cross-border activities, but to stem the tide of them. Per a 2017 report by the U.S. Government Accountability Office, pedestrian fencing is intended to divert illegal entrants to areas where agents can interdict illicit cross-border activities more effectively, and is intended to serve as a physical barrier that impedes and slows the progress of illegal entrants, providing Border Patrol agents assigned to these areas additional time and opportunities to execute their mission-essential tasks. The same report notes that after replacing old fencing with modern pedestrian fencing near Nogales, Arizona, assaults on Border Patrol agents fell from 376 in 2010 and 2011 to 71 in 2012 and 2013, a decline of 81%. New pedestrian fencing in urban regions of El Paso, Texas, has resulted in higher apprehension rates in these areas. These and other results detailed in the GAO's report are significant, but it's important to recognize that association does not prove causation, and other factors besides fencing could be at play. However, similar reductions in cross-border crimes have occurred in other nations that have deployed border barriers, and several facts indicate that the barriers were a primary cause of these reductions. Hungary built a barbed wire fence along its Croatian border during the refugee crisis, and migrant arrivals decreased by 99%. Israel built barriers along its Egyptian and West Bank borders with similar success. When illegal entrants began using ladders to scale the Egyptian border fence, Israel increased the height of the fence, thereby rendering the ladders ineffective. An example of how barriers can be improved to defeat challenges to them. Israel's West Bank barrier has made a monumental contribution to the reduction of violence, as Palestinian authorities attest. Hamas official Musa Abu Marzouk explained that despite Hamas's rise to power, carrying out suicide bomb attacks is made difficult by the security fence and the gates surrounding the West Bank residents. Palestinian Islamic Jihad leader Ramadan Abdullah Shalah stated that the Israeli West Bank fence limits the ability of the resistance to arrive deep within Israeli territory to carry out suicide bombing attacks. The direct nature of this evidence leaves virtually no doubt that this border barrier has been effective. But negative analyses of border barriers miss this by rhetorically moving goalposts. They claim that border walls don't work because illegal migration hasn't been completely stopped. But the relevant point is that illegal activity is significantly reduced by these barriers. Some fear that a wall may only divert illegal immigration in worse ways. Lauren Fox of U.S. News & World Report argues that increased border security in the U.S. has forced migrants to take more treacherous routes through remote areas, resulting in a spike in migrant deaths. She doesn't provide a time frame for this claim, however, and data from as far back as the U.S. Border Patrol provides shows no systematic trends in the number of people who have died while illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. Perhaps some with illegal intentions choose more dangerous paths, but others choose to not make the trip at all. The net effects of these choices on deaths is unknown, but formidable and comprehensive border security, as President Trump has proposed, strongly disincentivizes illegal immigration. Thus, Trump's wall may actually reduce deaths resulting from illegal border crossings. Far from being outdated and useless, border barriers are a modern and seemingly effective means of preventing illegal cross-border activity. They don't stop all of it, but that's not their purpose. Their purpose is to significantly curtail such crime, and they appear to do this well. While most of the evidence surrounding this issue does not allow for conclusions with 100% certainty, the weight of the evidence suggests that border barriers do accomplish their goals. I'm Amanda Reed Sheik, here with Just Facts. For thorough documentation of every fact in this video, read the article, Is President Trump's Border Wall an Outdated, Ineffective Strategy? At